Okay. It's pretty okay. Peace and life, family. I hope that you are well. I want to make sure that uh, the light is not too much. I'm just using pure daylight right now, but sometimes it can be a little blinding in the camera. But yes, I hope that you guys are well. So it's been a very interesting time. I went live the other day and I spoke on how I feel about everything that's going on as far as, the protest and everything. So I don't want to focus on that during this live. Hey, peace. How you doing, Marsha? Hey, Jesse. Thank you so much for the donation too, Jess. I appreciate that. Always much love and wellness to you. Um, but I don't want to spend this live focusing too much on the protest and everything. I really wanted to talk about the full moon that we have upon us. The full moon peaks at 3:12 p.m. And when I say it peaks, that does not mean that that's it and that's the only time that we can celebrate and honor the full moon. We can honor the full moon between today and 3 to 5 days out from now. So the full moon is here, it's present, and the energy is powerful. I want to spend this live discussing the power of this full moon and things that we can do during this full moon and really the energy that we should be focusing on because you guys, it's so powerful. And it's so powerful to the point that even as of this morning, I woke up early this morning and I've been doing readings ever since. And then I just got off the phone with one of my big sister queen, and we just was talking about the energy of this full moon, and everyone is already feeling it. So I'm gonna explain. The full moon that we have that will peak at 3:12 Eastern Standard Time. The full moon we have is a strawberry full moon. And the beautiful part about the strawberry full moon is that it's called the strawberry full moon because the Native Americans would use this full moon as a sign of when to pick the fresh and ripened strawberries. So if you are a strawberry fan, this time is for you. It's strawberry season officially. Good afternoon, peace and love, everybody. But it is officially strawberry season. So enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. But that's why it has the name of the strawberry full moon, right? Now, going even deeper into that, we all know that the full moon is a powerful energy, and it's a time that we should be releasing. But this particular full moon is in Sagittarius with an opposing Venus retrograde. This full moon is so important. It's so important because that is powerful. For the full moon to be in Sagittarius with the Venus retrograde is so powerful. And on top of that, we have a partial lunar eclipse, which heightens the energy of the full moon. This is a time where we have to make sure that we are fully in release mode. With the full moon being in Sagittarius, that means that it will be time for you to go into complete reclusion simply because we are going to feel heightened. Thank you so much. We are going to feel heightened sensitivity, heightened intuition, heightened emotional sensitivity. That means that right now we are going to be very fragile beings, very fragile beings. So we have to be mindful about the things that we say, the things that we do, and how we take certain things during this time. Because this is a Sagittarius full moon, we will be very emotionally sensitive right now, but our intuition will also be heightened. But if you don't channel that and if you don't understand the difference, it may lead you to feeling a sense of confusion, and you don't want to be in a space of confusion. I say that simply because with Venus being in retrograde, Venus is associated with how we give and receive love. This is a time where we are in very sensitive spaces in relationships in our life, not just sexual relationships, spousal relationships, although that is included, but also friendship and family relationships. Be mindful of that because of the Sagittarius full moon, us being at a heightened emotional sensitivity. We have to be mindful that Venus is also in retrograde, meaning that our relationships are super sensitive. If we are personally in a heightened emotional space, our relationships are sensitive. That means that certain things we may take the wrong way, we may receive the wrong way, and then we also may not be as sensitive to other people's emotions because we are centered in self in that time. Full moon in Sagittarius, shout out to all the Sagittariuses, but full moon in Sagittarius is a sign of being the need to be very selfish. We are going within. Everything is about us in this time. So that's why I'm highly advising that if you have the opportunity, please go into reclusion. In order to save your relationships, in order to save friendships, in order to save spousal relationships, please go into reclusion. Spend some time alone, even if it's for an hour a day, 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. I understand that some people have children, so you may not necessarily have the opportunity to do that, but please spend as much time as you can alone and do an emotional check-in and an emotional balancing. It's a time where you need to do a lot of writing. Write down your emotions, write down how you feel. Thank you, Marsha, I appreciate it. Write down your emotions, write down how you feel, write down your thoughts, and really just go within and do a lot of self-check-ins, because once again, this is a time where we will be very, very sensitive during this full moon. Also, because it's a full moon, we need to be willing to release. I put the link to, I did a full moon release ceremony tutorial. I feel like that's a lot of words. I did a full moon release ceremony tutorial, and I put the link in the description of this video. And I don't know, so for some reason lately, YouTube takes such a long time to upload my live videos. Like whenever I go live and I post it to my page, sometimes it takes hours. So hopefully this video will post before the day is over, but I'm not sure if it's gonna post by 3/12. Because 3/12 is the peak of the full moon, and it's the peak of the time where the lunar eclipse will begin to occur. That does not mean that you won't be able to do the full moon release ceremony. Once again, you can do it up to 5 days after the peak of the full moon. So today is Friday, I think. I don't know. Quarantine, y'all don't even keep up with days no more. I think it's Friday. So that means that you have to about Wednesday of next week to actually do your full moon release ceremony. And also, one thing about the lunar eclipse is the lunar eclipse will be seen on the eastern hemisphere. We will not necessarily be able to physically see the eclipse with our eyes, but that does not mean that the full moon is not heightened in energy for us on the east side. On the west side. It does not mean that. We still will have the heightened full moon energy. However, we will not necessarily be able to see the eclipse with our own eyes, but the energy is still there. Now, you want to use this energy to please, please, please do your release. And what are you releasing? Right now, during the Sagittarius full moon, you are releasing beliefs, systems, morals, values, relationships that no longer serve you. Beliefs, systems, and when I say systems, I'm talking about religious systems, educational systems. There are ways that you may be, religious ways that you may be practicing, certain things that you receive information and learn from educationally that you may need to release during this time. Certain morals and things that you've been upholding, standing for or not standing for, certain values that you've been standing for or not standing for. Certain belief systems, relationships you may need to release during this time. So during your full moon release ceremony, you need to start to recognize what are some things that may no longer be serving me. What are some things that I feel like I need to let go of? And you need to write that down. I'm not going to go through the whole full moon ceremony tutorial because, like I said, I have a video on that. The link is in the bio of exactly how you do a full moon ceremony release. I advise that you do it tonight. But once again, if you don't have time or if you forget or whatever, don't beat yourself up. You have until Wednesday of next week to complete that. Now, this is the thing about the releasing of relationships. And this is the part that I really wanted to focus on, right? And just really releasing anything. When I was talking to my big sister Queen, something we was talking about is the value of recognizing the importance of reclusion, of spending time for yourself. We have to be okay with spending time for ourselves and really taking time for ourselves, because oftentimes we give, especially as women. Women, we are natural nurturers. We want, most of us are natural nurturers. We want to care for other people. We take care of other people and we feel obligated. And the greatest advice I ever received was from a friend of mine who, I was in a situation where I was given a lot. And I was given a lot because I felt obligated. You know, I had great friendships. I was in a relationship with someone, and I was given a lot. I was nurturing a lot. I love to nurture. I love to cook for people and care for people. And, you know, I'm a spiritual advisor, so I love doing that stuff. But what I had to realize was I wasn't doing that for me. The same energy I was giving to other people, I wasn't giving to myself. And it had become draining. And the greatest advice she gave me, she said, listen, sis, you are not obligated. Whether we want to believe it or not, whether you realize it or not, you are not obligated to anything or anyone but yourself. You are the only thing that you are truly obligated to. Period. And I know a lot of mothers are like, well, I'm obligated to my kids. I'm going to be honest and let me explain. Being a mother is a role. Being a father is a role. Being a doctor, lawyer, preacher, cousin, wife, husband, those are roles in your life. Every single role can be removed from you. Every role that you play in life, including being a mother or a father, can be removed, but you're still going to be you. All of those roles can be removed, all of them. Any title that you give yourself, that is a chosen obligation. You are not obligated to that. You're not obligated to that. Those are roles that we give ourselves and that other people have given us. But at the end of the day, if you strip away all of those roles, being a mother, being a father, being a wife, being a husband, a sister, a brother, auntie, uncle, cousin, if you strip away all those roles, whatever your career is, whatever, all you have left is yourself. That's all you have left. So the only true obligation you have is to yourself. So that's why I said when it comes to going into reclusion, you have to take time to care for you and to check in with you. And it may sound like, oh, that just sounds like meditation, or that just sounds like, spending time for yourself. It sounds simple, but you'll be surprised how many people don't do it because they don't feel like they have the opportunity to. And a lot of people don't, especially single parents, single mothers, single fathers, don't always have the opportunity to go into reclusion. They don't have the opportunity to spend time with themselves. But even if you wake up in the morning and you spend a little bit of extra time in the bed, instead of just waking up and hopping straight out of bed, keep your eyes closed. Even though you are mentally conscious and awake, keep your eyes closed and just check in on you. How am I feeling? What am I thinking about? How does my body feel? What do I want to manifest? Set your intentions for the day. That is a period of reclusion that you can have when you first wake up in the morning. Feel your feet, feel your legs, feel your arms. You have to. You got to give yourself that time. And especially during this Sagittarius full moon where our emotions are heightened right now. Our intuition is heightened. Waking up in the morning and giving yourself just 10 minutes in the bed to tap into that heightened intuition. See what messages Agun wants to give you. Agun is like ancestors and spirit. See what messages spirit wants to give you. Commune with spirit. Set your intentions. Today I will feel this. And I want to speak on like setting intentions and things. It's not always physical. You have to start internally. Today I want to feel this. Today I want to think like this. Today, I want to know this for sure. Tap into what you know for sure. I want to know for sure that I am well today. I want to know for sure that I am beautiful today. You have to tap into those things. Tap into yourself. So when you first wake up in the morning, give yourself 10 minutes of reclusion time, especially during this full moon season. Please do. Check your emotions. Check how you are feeling. Gather yourself. You deserve that. And I'm saying that because if you do not do that, you will make unnecessary sacrifices, specifically in relationships. Now, during this time, because Venus is in retrograde, as I said, relationships are a little altered right now. Some of them may be ending. Some of them may be ending with a full moon, which is a release. And on a side note, do not charge your crystals and stuff like that in a full moon. Do not try to put anything new on your altar during a full moon because this is the release time. And with that release energy, if you put your crystals out to charge in a full moon, your crystals will capture what you're trying to release, and you don't want to do that. So just be kind of mindful about that. If you are good, certain crystals you can put out in a full moon, but some of them you do not want to do that. A time of testing. Yes, Sparkle. A time of testing. With the Venus in retrograde, the Sagittarius full moon, it will feel like a lot of tests because once again, you are emotionally sensitive. Your intuition is heightened. Venus is in retrograde. So the way that you are giving and receiving love, the way it's being given to you may not appear to be what it is. So we have to be mindful about that, okay? Be mindful that some relationships are meant to be released with this full moon. So some things may come to a sudden end and may feel like, okay, wait, what's happening? Like, I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. Why is this relationship in an awkward space? Why is this relationship ending? Let it go. The beauty of the full moon, the beauty of this energy is that things that no longer serve your wellness, things that no longer serve where you are striving to go, what you are trying to achieve, your divine destiny and path, things that no longer serve that will have to go. So in the moment, although it may be like, well, damn, I thought things was good. I thought we was cool. In the long run, it's exactly what you needed to release to get where you're trying to go. Please know that for sure. Do not get caught up in trying to hold on to things that you may not even realize are no longer serving you. Don't try to hold on to it because it's going to make you sick. It's going to make you sick. And on top of that, it will hinder you from getting to your supreme destiny. So be mindful of that. And with that being stated, we just also have to acknowledge everything that's going on in our world right now. You know, we have the protests, we have all of that stuff going on. I live in New York City. I literally last night was in the bed and I heard the police shooting at people. I live in Harlem. I'm not too far from where a lot of the protests take place. And I could literally hear police shooting at people, like literally hear them shooting rubber bullets at people. I don't know if y'all, the sound of when they shoot the rubber bullets is extremely loud. When they shoot, period, it's loud, but the rubber bullets is extremely loud and you can hear it. I can hear people screaming, all kind of stuff. It's a lot going on, you know, so it's very difficult to maintain a high vibration right now. But what you have to do is be very conscious and intentional about doing so and feel your feelings. Feel your feelings. Being in a high emotional state and especially a high physical state where a lot of stuff is going on, feel your feelings about what's going on. Write it down. Write it down. This is a time where we all need to do a lot of writing. Write it down. Write down your feelings. Write down what you want to release. Do your burn and release ceremony. Like I said, I got the tutorial on my YouTube. I don't know who's knocking on my door. That was sweet. Hey, that was my neighbor. I remember my neighbors who was doing the racist shit. They trying to be nice now. You know, the protest and everything is happening. They trying to be extra nice now, you know. People feeling guilty. But we give them love, you know. Um, but yeah, you guys. So just, you know, like I said, feel your feelings and, you know, just really like tap into the energy that you have going on right now. And, you know, just like I said, be willing to release and be willing to let go of things that no longer serve you. Right now, another thing we need to be mindful of is this situation that's happening with the world is just a sign of the shift that is occurring. It's a sign of the release that is occurring in the universe. In the universe, there is a released energy. So it's not just for us as people. Everything is affected by the full moon. Everything is affected by the sun. Everything is affected. You know, everything is affected in the universe. When we have these energy shifts, it's not just for us, it's for everything. So there is a huge shift that's happening. And as we know, the energy, well, some of us may know, the energy of change is associated with Oya and the power of Oya. So if you study African spirituality, you know, Oya is the energy of change. She's the Orisha of change. And she comes in the form of tornadoes and storms, heavy rain. So she comes and cleanses and washes away. So right now, Oya energy is real. And think about a tornado, think about a storm. It may not always feel easy. It may not always feel easy, but it's happening and it's needed and it's necessary. So tap into that Oya energy in order for us to make it through this transition period, in order for us to make it through this cleanse and this release, we got to tap in. And the way that you tap in is you start to understand what's happening when you are feeling emotionally frazzled, when you are feeling like you're losing certain things, you're feeling kind of weird about certain stuff. Tap in. Tap in and truly be okay with what you're giving, what you're receiving, what you're losing, what you're gaining. Be okay with it. Even if you don't understand it in the moment, be okay with it and give gratitude for what you do have. Give gratitude for your new revelations. Give gratitude. So start a gratitude list. Two things: release, give gratitude. Release, give gratitude, and you'll be well and you'll make it through this full moon and we'll be okay. And that's the thing, we got to know for sure. We got to know for sure that we will be okay and that we are well. But keep in mind what I said, we are not obligated to anything or anyone. We are not obligated. All of those titles are roles, especially to my sisters, ladies, being a wife, being a mother, being a friend. Those are roles. If those roles are removed right now, all you got left is you. Okay? Guys, being a brother, being a father, being a protector, being a husband, those are all a financial provider. Those are all roles. Those are roles that society has given you. Some you have chosen, some other people have just placed on you. Be okay to let those go. Just for a moment. When you go into reclusion, what you're doing is releasing those roles. That is what reclusion is. It's saying, you know what, right now, I ain't a mother. I'm not a husband. I'm not a father. I'm not a wife. I'm not a sister. I'm not a brother. I'm me. And what do I need? And you're feeding yourself. You're feeding yourself, okay? So be mindful of that. Hey, Natty, how you doing? Be mindful of that, okay? Be mindful of that. Take care of yourself during this time, you guys. Watch that full moon release video. Like I said, you have up until Wednesday to do it. There are some tools. I haven't watched that video in a while, but there are some tools that I tell you to get if you have access to them. Specifically, like whenever I do like the videos for the public, I try to be very general with the tools, things that you can get like from the grocery store, like from your local bodega or corner store, wherever. But I'm pretty sure one of the things I said in the video, and that's because that's something that's good to use during a release ceremony, is a white candle. You can also use a black candle. A lot of people think black candles are only for dark magic and for death and stuff. Black candles are truly for release and for protection. Release and protection. That is the benefit of a black candle. You are a little late. It's okay. But that is the benefit of a black candle. So if you could get a white candle or a black candle, a purple candle would be okay right now as well. Purple would be for the Oya energy, for the transition energy. But yes, release, let go, and it's okay, family. It's okay. Don't fret. Be mindful that you are highly emotionally sensitive right now, okay? So check yourself and check your emotions and check how you are managing your emotions. Don't be so sensitive as far as like when people say something, sometimes it may hit a little bit, but they may not have meant it that way, okay? Try to focus on intention as opposed to physical and verbal actions. Focus on intentions, okay? Can you explain what the colors of the stones mean? The colors of which of my stones, Natty? The colors of which stones? My stones, my stone, I have a rose quartz, I have a smoke quartz, and then I have a green tourmaline. So this is for, the rose quartz is for love energy and peace energy. The smoke quartz is for protection, and this one is for prosperity. The green tourmaline is for prosperity. Those are my stones. I don't know if that's the stones you were talking about. Good stones right now that you could carry though. For the Sagittarius full moon is a rose quartz. You could do an amethyst. Clutch your amethyst tight, please, please, please. Clutch your amethyst tight. Amethyst is a great stone that brings you peace. It brings you abundance. It also brings you great protection and clarity. So if you're struggling during this time with like clarity with intuition, and right now we have heightened intuition, you're not sure what your spirit of discernment is telling you to do. You may be having a question and you're not getting a clear answer, what you feel like is a clear answer. Clutch that amethyst tight. Also get a clear quartz and clutch that clear quartz tight. Clear quartz is also good for clarity, also good for protection and receiving signs for the universe, receiving clarity from the universe. So that's a good one to get during this time. I'm about to go up and read some comments. Hey, is it Anastasia or Anastasia? I like Anastasia. I love Anastasia Beverly Hills lipstick. Even though I'm trying to support black, y'all, I've ordered some lipstick from the Crayon Case. That's Super Scents product, the Crayon Case. Um, oh, I'm glad you caught the live too, Shauna. Much love to you. Hey, Sparkle. Hey, Asia. Asia. Thank you, new name. I appreciate that. Thumbs up. I always forget to say that, to like, share, and subscribe. I always forget to say that. Oh, y'all, we reached 5,000. Speaking of like, share, and subscribe, we reached 5,000. We reached 5,000 subscribers. I'm so happy about that. I'm very, very grateful. My niece, my baby, my eldest niece, she was like, "You're gonna reach 5,000 subscribers before quarantine is over." I'm telling you, and it happened so quickly. I've literally gained over 3,000 subscribers since the start of the new year, which is like wow, a lot, and I'm like very grateful for that. So thank you. Um, my thoughts on Cyrus astrology. You said once you learn more, you took a break from. I'm looking at Yin Yang. You said you took a break from astrology overall. This is my thing with astrology, right? Dealing specifically with astrology, uh, y'all, things are just what they are. Things are what they are, and that does not mean that we shouldn't try to interpret them. Thank y'all so much for the congratulations. I appreciate that. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to interpret them. But the thing with like astrology, I honestly look at astrology as a religion. I really do. I look at astrology very much like a religion, and you'll have people who are like diehard and dedicated to astrology, and they're dedicated to understanding the planets and planetary alignment, which is great. Just like any religion can be great, Hinduism can be great, Christianity can be great, Islam can be great. Astrology to me is also a religion. There are so many benefits to it, so many benefits, but I just advise, just like any religion, do not become obsessive in one note. Do not base everything and everyone off of astrology. You ever talk to those people, and as soon as you do something, I'm an Aquarius, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's not Aquarius," "Oh, you're an Aquarius," so da 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 da, and everything you do, they try to relate back to astrology. Don't do that. You guys don't do that. It's okay to know and to be aware of. Hey, how you doing? It's okay to know and to be aware of and understand, but also be free. Be free and just allow some things to be what they are. It's good to know and to study astrology. The same way it's good to know and study the Bible. It's good to know and study the Quran. It's good to know and study the Torah. It's good to know and study these things, okay? Because there's a lot of good in all of it. But I just advise that you give yourself the freedom to not be obligated. Don't feel obligated to know astrology and to fully be an astrologist through and through. Okay, Aquarius to the bone. Let me tell you something about that Aquarius energy. And I got a lot of Aquarius in my chart, but also some things just are what they are, and you are who you are. We are all impacted, yes, by the planets, and yes, by astrology and everything. But please just don't become too obsessed with anything. Even with spirituality, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's getting into studying African spirituality, so she's always has a lot of questions, and she's like very specific. Like she's like, on my altar, okay, so when I do my altar for Yemen, what should I have? Should I have this? Is this okay to put on my altar? Is that okay to put on your altar? And I'm like, listen, be free. Be free. Be free. You don't have to specifically have this, and that. What does your spirit tell you? If your spirit doesn't tell you to put rum on your altar, don't put the rum. If your spirit doesn't tell you to put the tobacco on your altar, don't put the tobacco. Don't do that. You don't have to be exact. You don't have to do it exactly like I say or like the books say or like this person does it, because that may not be what your ego needs. Your spirit guides may not need that. Your ego may not need tobacco. Your ego may not need the rum or need the tequila. You may not need that, and that's okay. That's okay. All right? That's okay. Don't put too much pressure on yourself with anything. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just give yourself some time to learn and to be free. And that goes back to what I was saying about the full moon, about us releasing old belief systems and releasing, old ways of life that no longer serve us. There may be some things, even from your altars, that you may need to release during the full moon. It's a good time to clean off your altar, which I spoke about. Well, you'll see me speak about in the full moon tutorial that I put the link in the description. It's a good time to clean off your altar. Certain things that's on your altar you may not need to bring into this new moon cycle. You may need to release it. Okay, so certain stones, certain offerings, certain materials, that cigar that you got on there may need to go. And you may need to properly do a burial, properly do a release. Certain things may not need to be there anymore. Clean off your altar. Clean off your internal altar. So we have an internal altar and we have an external altar. Your external altar is where you have, your candles and everything. But your internal altar is your chakras. You need to do a chakra cleanse. You need to do a chakra release. Okay? So you may need to release things that no longer serve your root chakra. You may need to release things that no longer serve your sacral or solar plexus chakra. You need to tap into your third eye, tap into your crown, tap into your heart, tap into your throat. You may need to do certain releases. You may need to release certain words or language that no longer serves you. You may have been feeling guilty about certain things you say, certain prayers you pray. You may need to not pray that prayer no more. Sometimes I was talking to a sister and we get into the tradition of a certain prayer. And she was saying every time she prays over her food, she does the God is great, God is good. And she said she didn't realize that she's been doing that since she was a child. God is great, God is good. Thank you, Father, for this food. Bow her head. So we say she didn't realize she's been doing that since she was young, and her prayer over her food has never changed. And even though the food that she eats change, the chefs who prepare it change, the hands who hand her the food changes, her prayer over her food never changes. So even something as simple as that, you have to ask yourself when you're eating something, what is my intention for this food? How do I want this food to nourish me? What is the purpose of this food? When you're praying over that kale, what chakra are you feeding when you eat that kale? What chakra are you feeding when you eat that mac and cheese or them potatoes? Or if you're a meat eater, what chakra are you feeding when you have that steak? That steak is the root chakra. That steak, that red meat is connected to the root chakra. So what are you feeding? What are you nourishing when you're doing that? Okay? And that's the prayer you need to pray. You need to set your intentions for the items on your plate. Set your intentions for everything you drink. When you drink this water, what are you drinking it for? I remember watching a video with Tiffany Haddish, and she said before she made it, and even to this day, she said when she would drink water, she would say, "This is success water. I'm drinking success right now." That's setting an intention. It's setting an intention. So be very intentional about what you're putting in your body. Pray necessary prayers, not obligated prayers, because once again, we're not obligated to anything or anyone. Don't pray your obligatory prayer. Pray your necessary prayer. When you have your altar, put your necessary items on your altar. Just do what you need as opposed to what you think you're supposed to do. Okay, family? I'm about to get off, all right? My neighbor, my racist neighbor, just got a bunch of deliveries, so they just bought all my packages up. So I'm about to go through and open up my stuff. Just a sidebar, dealing with my racist neighbors. And now they all trying to be all nice since George Floyd, God rest George Floyd, which shout out to his daughter. His daughter said she was like, my father changed the world, and he truly has made a huge shift, has helped with a huge shift in our society, whether we realize it or not, because we're still very much deep into the protest, and we're deep into what's going on, whether we realize it or not. There is a shift that's happening, even in the minds of people who have been oppressing us or have been trying to oppress us, because I'm trying to be more mindful about the language that I use, because although attempts to oppress us have been made, they have not always been successful. We are natural thrivers as Black folks. We naturally thrive. We naturally overcome. We have strong spirits, and that's because we have so many ancestors that are behind us, pushing us and holding us up. So we have natural thriving spirits. But there is a huge shift that's happening, and I'm experiencing one of them, as you can see, because if you saw my other lives, I spoke previously on how, my neighbors basically were saying they have complained in the past that the seasoning that we use in our food, they don't like the smell. They've complained that we've been too loud, or I've been too loud, and They was like, they saying they could hear me on the phone, or they could hear me when I'm recording my videos, and just like, they've been complaining a lot about our blackness overall, things that are associated with black people. My roommate cooks, and she told me that she doesn't like the smell of his cooking. And I'm like, it's seasoning, girl. But it was just a lot. And when we had a talk about it, and the guy, he basically was like, I have no respect for you. He was like, he didn't say I don't like you. He said, I hate you and I have no respect for you. That's what he told me to my face. And I was very like, oh, okay. Because I had been showing them so much respect and showing a lot of love and doing like a lot of little stuff, just to show love. And, they're neighbors. I'm very neighborly. And that was our last conversation. But since George Floyd and the protests, they have definitely been going out of their way to be extra nice and all that stuff. Like, she just bought up my packages and just really like going out of their way to be extra nice. And the thing that I want to speak on specifically is forgiveness. Because I put up a video on my Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you see it. But it was an interview with Kirk Franklin. And Natty, you had the same situation. Oh, except he was black, and now he's going, okay, you better use that power, Natty. Okay, get rid of him. But the thing is, Charlamagne and Kirk Franklin were doing an interview. Well, Kirk Franklin did an interview with the Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne asked Kirk Franklin, like, how do you feel about Christian people in particular saying that we need to pray for the police who killed George Floyd, and we need to pray for racist people. And Kirk Franklin was saying, like, it's not the time for that. And I was looking at another interview with TD Jakes, and TD Jakes was talking about, how, like, right now is not the time where we need to be putting the pressure on ourselves to heal, heal, heal. Right now, we're putting the pressure on society to change. So when it comes to forgiveness and stuff like that, I do agree that we do need to be able to forgive people. But as Maya Angelou said, one of my favorite quotes, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Don't forget who they have shown you they are. You can forgive them, but you don't have to forget who they have shown you that they are, and they shown you that they have the ability to be. Okay? No matter how much repentance they try to come to you with, and this is with anybody in your life, no matter how much repentance, how many apologies, and all of that stuff, do not forget who they've shown you they can be. They've shown you a part of their character. And no matter how much they try to show you that they have changed, they've shown you who they have the ability to be. And because we love and we have compassion, you can forgive, but do not forget. It would be foolish to forget, because if the same thing happened again, you would be a fool. And my mama ain't raised no fool, okay? So I just wanted to say that little tidbit. We are not obligated. We can forgive, but we are not obligated to just up and move on and act like nothing happened, okay? Don't put that pressure on yourself for anybody, not just the racist neighbors, but anybody in your life, okay? Don't put that pressure on yourself, family. But watch my Patreon link. My Patreon link is it's in the description of the box. It's in the description of the box, the description box of this video. That's where the Patreon link is. I'm going to read a few comments before I go. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Sunita. Is it Sunita? Y'all, I'm bad with names. I realized that when I was teaching in the classroom, I was like, I didn't realize that was a thing for me. Thank you for this info. Yes. Oh, this is your first full moon ceremony? You're gonna love it. Ladies, I want to do a video about full moons, because you recognize that our womb cycle is aligned with the moon cycle, and I want to do a tutorial on how to fully align your womb cycle with your moon cycle, because it's possible to align your womb cycle with the moon cycle. So when I speak of womb cycle, the average woman gets her menstrual every 28 days. It's typical. Although you're not obligated. Some women are different, but the average womb cycle is 28 days. The average moon cycle is 28 days. There's an alignment in that 28. So we as women, we are moon warriors. Men are sun. We are moon, men are sun. If you ever listen to the Erykah Badu song, Orange Moon, and she says, I'm an orange moon reflecting the light of the sun. So we as women, we are moon beings. We are moon creatures, which there's a lot of power. And that's why during this full moon, this is when intuition and emotion and things like that are heightened in everyone. The divine feminine energy is heightened in everyone, including men. So men have to be willing to tap into that divine feminine. But what you'll also notice is that, thank you, Killer McCondis, let me tell you, Snooty Fox. I like that name, Snooty Fox. It made me think of Poetic Justice. When they went to the Snooty Fox Hotel, you remember that scene in Poetic Justice? But the thing with a lot of men who struggle with their divine feminine energy, they repress their emotions. So with a lot going on, especially with the murder of black people in general, but of course society highlights the murder of black men. We're seeing a lot of George Floyd, we're seeing a lot of Ahmaud Arbery, and finally Breonna Taylor is getting some light. But we also had a Tatiana Jefferson last year. We have Sandra Bland. We have so many black women who get murdered. But a lot of black men are seeing black men die. So our young boys, our men, are really, really, really in high emotion right now. And if you have a man in your life, whether if it's a husband, a boyfriend, a son, a brother, who struggles with their repressed emotions right now, they may be highly sensitive. And I'm really speaking to my sisters who, you may have a man in your household who seems very tense right now, and he seems very much like he's taking everything the wrong way, and he's not doing, he's not receiving your energy well. But it's because it's the full moon in Sagittarius. And right now, his energy, his divine feminine energy is heightened. And if he already represses his emotions, he's going to be working extra hard to repress his emotions, because he knows that the world right now ain't accepting him as a black man. Right now, the full moon is bringing in even heightened emotions. So right now, he's just feeling a lot. So if he struggles with releasing his emotions during your full moon release ceremony, you may need to add a little extra, do a little something that can help him release his energy. And make sure that you put that out there. When it comes to writing down what you want to manifest, make sure that you make him a part of it and help him lift up some of that repression, and just don't put too much pressure on him to share. Don't put too much pressure on him to share right now. Don't try to be like, oh, let's talk about what's going on. Some brothers don't want to talk about what's going on, and that's okay. Some brothers don't want to talk about how they feel about the protest, or how they feel about, they don't want to have those conversations because it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Okay. It's hard to talk about how you go walk out in the street and get killed for no reason, So just please, just ladies, because when we get emotional, we want to talk. Okay, ladies, just be mindful of that. And once again, Venus is in retrograde, so relationships are very sensitive right now. You don't want to put pressure on your relationship by being emotionally overbearing, especially during a time where society is emotionally overbearing, the planetary alignment is emotionally overbearing. Just go into reclusion. Okay, I'm going back to read some of your podcast. Oh, podcast, y'all. So I definitely would do a podcast. I'm actually going to be a guest on a couple podcasts. I'll put that information out there for y'all. I got one coming up on June 18th with my sister Queen Annie P. And then I have another one coming up at the end of June that I'll be a guest on, and I don't want to announce that one yet, because that's a thing. But I'll put that information out there when it's time, y'all. But I definitely would start a podcast. I would. I don't know the difference between what I do now, like this, and actually having a podcast. So I want to study podcasting and study how to really start a podcast, because I don't really know what's how to do that. So I'm gonna study that. Please send something protect. Okay, I definitely will, Teresa. Put something out there to protect you. Get a smoke quartz too, Teresa. Smoke quartz stone. Smoke quartz stone is a good stone for protection if you have access to that. And then a black candle is good for protection as well. Tap into Shango energy as well too. Shango is warrior energy. That's root chakra energy. So if you're seeking protection, take a spiritual bath, especially during this Sagittarius full moon, you guys. Take a spiritual bath. Take a spiritual bath during this Sagittarius full moon. I'm not going to go into the whole thing about the power of spiritual baths. I feel like I talk about that all the time. But please, please, please take a spiritual bath. My phone is about to die, y'all, so I got to get off soon. But take a spiritual bath during this full moon if you can. Please take a spiritual bath. Cleanse yourself. And then, as I always say, make sure you drink your herbs so you get that internal cleansing as well. Do a gentle detox if you need to. A gentle detox if you need to. Gentle detox, some things that you can take. Make sure that you are fully, first off, before you do your gentle detox, take in your burdock. That's a good one. Okay, it's a good herb to make sure that you are cleansing yourself. Burdock, bladderwrack. If you have access to sea moss, take your sea moss. Ginger, peppermint, and stuff like that on a daily basis. On a daily basis, y'all, please drink ginger and peppermint tea on a daily basis. Even if that's the minimal herbs that you do. Minimal herbs that you do. Ginger, peppermint tea, please. Even if that's the minimum, please do that. Please, you guys, please. It's a lot of benefits to that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, love. Can you do it in the shower? Yes, in the shower you definitely can. So in the shower, if you don't have access to a bathtub and you want to do a spiritual bath in the shower, spiritual cleansing, do it in the form of a salt scrub. So everything that I advise that you put in your spiritual bath, you get Epsom salt and you can put all of that in Epsom salt. And you can add a little bit of avocado oil to it or coconut oil to it and do a full body scrub and rub all over yourself. A full body scrub. And that's how you can take your spiritual bath, but in the shower. Okay, so you do your rub and state your mantras and do your chanting. And when it comes to chanting, you guys, some people feel like chanting. We think about Tina Turner and what's love got to do? Nam yo ho renge kyo, nam yo ho renge kyo. That does not have to be chanting for you. You don't always have to you don't have to do Hindu chants. You don't have to do that. You can do chanting and not do, hey, Ashley, I just got a thing that Ashley Monet subscribed to my channel. Thank you, Ashley. But yeah, you don't always have to do like the Nam Yo Horenga Kyo. Chanting is when you repeat a statement or a mantra over and over and over and over again. And don't feel like you have to do it fast. You can create your own chants. So by doing an I am mantra. So the intention of chanting is to repetitively put something into the universe. You heighten the energy by repeating it over and over and over and over and over. And you are literally calling that energy to you. So an I am mantra, you can do I am well, I am peace, I am abundant with great things. Be very clear with that. A lot of people like to just say I am abundant, but be clear what you are abundant with. Because people can be abundant with depression. They can be abundant with problems. They can be abundant with financial issues. Abundant just means to have a lot of. You want to make sure that you say, I am abundant with great things. I am abundant with peace. I am abundant with light. Be very clear about that. But when you are chanting, start with just an I am mantra, one that you create, whatever it is, whatever energy you're trying to channel right now, that's your I am mantra. So you can do I am well, and you just repeat that. You repeat it, and you can start slow, and then naturally, when you focus and you go in, you start slow, focus, go in, do it with your breath. I am well. I am well. I am well. I am well. And you just keep repeating it, repeating it, repeating it. And then you'll notice that you'll naturally speed up over time. You'll naturally speed up. Some people try to do chanting and they want to start out with nam yo ho renge kyo, nam yo ho renge. Notice that she did not get there immediately. And you can actually listen to Tina Turner do that chant. They have it on YouTube. You can hear her do the full thing. And she starts out very slow. Nam yo ho renge kyo, nam yo. And she starts very slow. And then over time, after like 3 or 4 minutes, she starts to speed up. So that'll happen naturally. But chanting, start with an I am mantra. And you can sit at your altar. You can burn sage or basil or rosemary. And those are all cleansing energies. So you could burn sage, basil, rosemary. And you can just chant that over and over and over and over and over, your I am mantra, and that is chanting. And then also when you're doing your spiritual scrub, your spiritual bath, you want to make sure that you are very intentional about what are you cleansing away. So I am releasing this. I am releasing that. I am releasing this. I am releasing. You could just say I am releasing anything that no longer serves me. I am releasing anything that no longer serves me. I am releasing anything that no longer serves me. That is what you can say. And that's chanting, y'all. Okay, so don't feel obligated. When I was in Bali, We started out with Om Namah Shivaya, which is essentially a chant that calls on the goddess Shiva. So we would start Om Namah Shivaya, and we would start very, very slow, almost like singing it. And then we would speed up, speed up, speed up. And eventually, by the time you come to, but by the time you come back to this physical realm, you don't even realize that you've been chanting it that fast. It gets to the point where it almost just sounds like Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Like it goes so quickly. But the deeper you go into the spiritual realm and remove from the physical realm, the faster you'll start chanting. Okay, but that happens naturally as you transition through realms. I don't want to get too deep on y'all with the realm thing, but that's how it goes. You burn sage in your house while your friends were having a heated argument. And one of them fainted. Let me tell y'all something. Okay? That's real, Natty. That is real. Okay? That's real. Sage, anything, not just sage, but anything. Prayer, all of that. When people, if you grew up in the church and anywhere, people talk about the power of prayer. That's why they use the term magic, right? Because these things, people think they're just magically happening, but energy is a real thing. Energy is a real thing. With energy, you have the power to build or destroy. And that shit is magic, okay? It is magic. That is how you are able to speak something and it just manifests. That is how you're able to turn people around without even knowing that they have been turned around. That is how you're able to make a negative energy flee. That is how you're able to stop an argument mid-argument, whether it's causing somebody to drop, aka faint, or somebody will just walk out and leave, okay? It's power. And the more intuitive and the more intention you have about it, and the more consistency and discipline you get with understanding the power of your energy and your practice and utilizing your tools, the better you will be, the more powerful you actually become. Okay? There are people I'm like hesitating when I say this because I recognize how crazy it sounds, but y'all, I've seen this with my own eyes. There are monks and gurus who have been practicing for years, who can actually physically levitate. And I know some people are like, all right, girl, but y'all, I swear to you, study. When I was in Bali, y'all, certain shit that's like whoa to a lot of people are just normal to them. It's just normal to some of them. People who are in the spiritual communities there, it's just normal to them. But it just speaks to the power of discipline and of consistency and things like that. Like you can literally make things happen. Yes, Sparkle, it's real. It's real. When I was in Bali, a lot of stuff they wouldn't even let me record. Like there was a lot of places you can't even bring phones and you can't bring tools and technology. They make you leave everything. And sometimes they'll even make you change your clothes and put on their garments, right? Because they don't want any of this to be recorded. But people who are serious about their spiritual work and it becomes their life, like monks, can do some powerful stuff. But I'm just saying that as an example of the more disciplined and the more consistent and the more intuitive and intentional you are about everything in your life, the more powerful you will become. You'll be able to speak it and it will be. You can speak it and it will be. You'll be able to think it and it will be. Practice. Go within. Reclusion. Tap into yourself, get to know yourself, manifest your highest supreme energy internally, and you'll be able to see it reflect externally. Easy. Emerald Book of Thoth. Is that what it is? Is that a book recommendation topping? What with the Book of Thoth? I'm not. Put me on. You said the Book of Thoth. I'm looking for a good book to read right now. Some people Kundalini so activated. Yes, but hey, Bella, how you doing? They can literally, she said they can literally sit on fire and not burn. That is very true. It tells you how to levitate. Oh, I'll tap in. I'll check it out. I'll check it out, tap in. But that's very true, Bella. That's very true. People can do some powerful things. People can do some powerful things, you guys. That's why I said study. Some of this stuff may sound a little crazy, but yes, like study, study, study. Aisha said, "Have you read Queen of Four, Sacred Woman?" I got that book right now in my room. I grew up on Queen of Four, Sacred Woman. My aunt was good friends with Queen of Four back in the day, and they very familiar, very familiar. Queen of Four and Dr. Sabi, my aunt was like obsessed when I was younger, obsessed. So that, like when I say I grew up with African spirituality and like certain practices, Queen of Four was definitely a part of my journey, and I love her dearly. I love her immensely. If you've never read Queen of Four, Sacred Woman, or you don't have it, please get it. Everyone in the wellness community, it's actually going to be our book recommendation probably next month. But I'm going to tell y'all now so you can get it. I think they have it on Amazon right now for like, because I just purchased a few for some people. And I think they have it like for like $12 or something like that on Amazon. It's very cheap. And that's a book that used to be like $40, $50 back in the day. So if you can get it on Amazon right now, it's like $12, I think. 12, like to between $10 and $12. Get it on Amazon right now. Queen of Four, Sacred Woman. Book of Thoth. I'm definitely gonna look into that topic. Thank you for that recommendation. It's a privilege to experience let me tell you, the greatest trip I ever took in my life was to Bali. And I've traveled, you guys. I've traveled. The greatest trip I've ever taken in my life was to Bali. If you can, go to Bali, Indonesia. Watch the prices, especially right now because plane tickets are cheap-ish. They're going back up, but they're cheap-ish. Bali, Indonesia changed my life. I went there and I stayed there for over a month. I was in Bali. I paid $350 for my plane ticket round trip. I paid $350. I stayed at the Om Ham Healing Resort. It's an ashram, or it's a fancy ashram, but they also have another ashram across the street that's owned by the same guru, and he stays on that ashram across the street, literally directly across the street, and it's a little cheaper than staying on the resort part of it. And then if you stay on that ashram, you also have full access to the resort and all the amenities of the resort as well. But if you're a little bit more on a more strict budget, you can stay at the ashram across the street. But just Google Om Ham. Like I said, I paid $350 round trip from New York to Bali. Round trip when I went. The tickets can be extremely high sometimes. Oh, Natty, you saw the vlogs from that trip? Yes. The tickets can be extremely high sometimes, but you can also catch it at the right price. I went in 2018. I think it was like September, or I might have left at the end of August. And I stayed until October, the middle of October, end of October, because I went to South Africa the last week of October. So yeah, Bali was life changing. Staying on the ashram, particularly, and being with the guru and communing with the guru, and then many other people who worked under the guru, communing and taking yoga and meditation multiple times a day. Everything on the ashram is focused on spirituality. So you wake up in the morning and you do yoga. You wake up in the morning, you meditate. Everything all throughout the day. They have like 3 p.m., 11 p.m. meditation, 11 a.m. meditation, 3 p.m. yoga. You just do that cycle over and over and over. Meditation, yoga, meditation, yoga. Life changing. And once again, you will see some people do some stuff. And then also like reflexology, you will receive reflexology. That's like norm. Various healing tools and healing techniques. Spinal realignments. I was just telling my friend the other day how, we used to be doing yoga and the guru would just come. And I've been practicing yoga for a while, so I'm okay. I'm okay. And downward facing dog is one of my most comfortable positions. And he would push me, ease me into a position of downward facing dog that was very challenging. He would walk on my back. He would do spinal realignments. And I was like one of multiple people in the room. And he would do a lot of realignments. We would do meditation. They would bring out the singing bowls, and y'all, it's just a magical thing. And you get to see people who have really been in the spiritual life and dedicated their life to spirituality do some magical, magical things like levitate. Okay, so if you can go to Bali, Indonesia, and manifest it. Manifest it. If you have the desire to go, manifest it. Okay? Manifest it. You have the power to do that. All right? Peace, family. I'm seriously going to go this time. You're saving on a trip to go to Cancun to take a 3-week Oprah class. Oh, wow. 3-week Oprah class in Cancun. Cancun is beautiful. I've been to Cancun. It's beautiful. They love black folks, okay? They love black folks in Mexico. Don't ever let anybody tell you any different. They love black folks in Mexico. It's a lot of black history there. Cancun, I will say, I'm giving you the forewarning. It's a tourist area, so it's very touristy. But if you just let them know, like, look, I want to learn some ancestor history. They love people who come for that. And that's anywhere you travel. People want to really show you the true culture. They don't always want to show you the tourist stuff. So if you let them know, like, look, I'm willing to go to the rough parts of town. Just take me and let me know. And I want to be with you because I feel good with you. I feel safe with you. But put me on. I want to see some spiritual stuff. I want to see some ancestor stuff. You know, I want to know, what do y'all do for spirituality? And they will take you and they'll show you, they'll teach you. So when you get to Cancun, when you see them folks who gonna look at you and they're gonna be like, Black Queen, da-da-da, we look the same, da-da-da, they giving you that love, talk to them and speak to them and let them know that you are open to experiencing the spiritual side of Cancun or the spiritual side to any country you go to, and you'll be able to see that. But I'm out for real now, y'all. All right? Peace and light, family. Thank y'all so much for joining me, and thank y'all for the encouragement and for helping me get to 5,000 subscribers. I appreciate that, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace, family. Okay, Natty, email me. Email